John. Let's go, team. Let's go.
I'll dance at 1,000 subs.
Whoa, hear that? Let's
We have a number.
Team, we're bringing the fun. We're bringing the thunder. We are Thunder. Flesh and blood down under. Woo! We have the world's filthiest Kano player, Judge Mitch. Welcome to Thunder.
Hey guys, how you going?
What level judge are you, Mitch?
Still level 1.
Scrub.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking scrub.
Fails the rules twice now, and have been waiting.
Twice?
Yeah. It's like a 90-day period based after you fail once, unfortunately.
Do they tell you what question you failed?
Yeah. No. They go through
You
it all.
know,
Yeah, they give you the details of why you're kind of wrong, sort of thing, like what the correct answer was.
So where'd you stuff up?
A lot of it's just like misreading the question and not actually playing out. Like, realistically, my new plan is going to actually play out the actions that they're actually stepping through.
Yeah. Just
to give myself, because I think I'm more a visual person, so just seeing the cards lined up, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. I rush through some of the questions most of the time because, like, I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes no fucking sense. Why did I answer the way that I did?
Mitch, I obviously hate you, and you know that. But
look, you say you hate
just,
but
just to be clear, I failed the level 1 a couple of times.
Oh damn!
But it's the same sort of thing at a lower level. Is like I didn't want all the tabs open and slowly do it. I wanted to see what I could wing.
Sure.
Not a test you can wing.
No, definitely
you really
not.
have to take your time because I think the book smart people are getting it pretty easily because they're like opening everything and checking and double checking. Well, I was
cheating.
Like, no, you're allowed. That's how
it's open book.
It's literally meant.
Well, the
all
test
it's
is
open
designed. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's designed to teach you where to find the answers. So when you're in a tournament, it comes up. You can jump on the rulebook app or whatever and go. This is the correct answer. No, you don't need to commit everything to memory. I think it's impossible to commit everything. Just before we go on, please subscribe to the channel. We always forget early on. This is going to be a spicy episode. We're going to talk about outsiders. We're going to talk about Mitch and his Kano ways. And calling New Zealand and
excited.
All right, let's get into it.
And Pro Tour announcement.
Yeah, we got a lot to get through.
But please subscribe. We're on Spotify as well. Go subscribe there as well. But Mitch, welcome.
Hey, thanks guys.
Now, Mitch, I don't think you remember. We met around 10 years ago. We met at a local game store, very close to here, by the way, at the Games Cube.
You can see the roof of it now.
Literally.
Yeah, that's where we met. And it was an F&M. And, geez, you were probably still in high school.
No, I don't know that.
Okay, you would have been. Maybe you were in uni at the time.
Uni.
Mitch looks younger than he is.
Yeah, it would have been at uni. And, we're in the middle of the tables and I hear this guy talking so loud. And every second word coming out of his mouth is Brian bloody Kibler. Right, this ex-famous pro,
I know
right?
who that is, yeah.
So every second word is, Brian Kibler this, Brian Kibler that. This is the best deck. And I'm pretty sure it was his standard Jund deck. Was it Jund or... I'm pretty sure it was Jund when you came back into Magic. Because you'd had a hiatus, right?
Yeah, so I'd started well before, like when I was in high school, stopped for a while, then came back into around uni, where probably around 2012, then got more competitive, started going more to FNMs around 2013, 2014.
That's when we met.
It would either have been, it might have been like his Team of Blacklist. I know I'm a proponent of that, but I think that was probably later on. Or he was his red-green aggressive deck where he was like Mana Talk into 3-drop, 4-drop.
Thrag Tusk and all that. Yeah, it was around, Stormbreath Dragons, probably all that fun stuff. But I just remember every second word, Brian Kibler gushing over this deck, talking so loud. All the Timmys were around you. Everyone was looking, going, where the fuck did this guy come from? And because I'm pretty sure that was your first F&M. I used to go there every night. I used to go there multiple times a week. But good times, right?
Oh, the best. You miss it.
I saw a photo on the GamesCube Facebook. I was like, they posted like throwback 10 years ago or something.
Probably, yeah.
And I'm like looking at the photo, I'm like, is that young Mitch?
Oh, Mitch was a bully back then, John.
Yeah,
He used to,
I can imagine.
If we, I'll see if I can get the image of Mitch bullying a kid at the Cube. And
So,
How many kids have you made cry? I want to know.
For context, that was during a period where I got to bring my modern deck, and it was split between casual and competitive. competitive was going to be modern, casual standard. I even got my modern deck that day. I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll just play the casual. Fortunately, I'm playing like a tier 1 meta deck, and there happens to be kids in the casual, and I get paired into them. So of course, all my friends, the dicks they are, straight away behind my back, snap a photo.
It's back when the camera phone quality wasn't the best.
Correct. That's my only out. Realistic at this point is I can maybe smudge it off that I know it's me. You probably won't. It's fine.
Great photo though. It just encapsulates Mitch. So
when did you get into Fab?
So mid 2021, pretty much. Paul. Paul was the man who pulled me in.
I dragged you in.
So it was during this time of him starting up his Tall Timmy YouTube channel. Probably about 3 videos in, so his first week pretty much, because he was
every day or whatever. Yeah.
Every day basically back then.
How good was COVID for content creation, man?
I mean, this was like just before, in between the lockdown, right? So he was actually going to events, sort of thing, talking about the decks. And so during that period, I was over in Auckland at that point for work for meant to be there for like a 2 month stint. Was watching his videos and then started messaging people because he starts talking about, keeps spamming our group chat with the videos.
He's like a Jehovah's Witness, but for flesh and blood. I know. I've seen it.
Yeah. So he keeps spamming it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever. Like, fine, let me talk to some other people, people who apparently have been playing this game as well. And eventually started messaging. I'm like, okay, maybe this sounds kind of interesting. Start look at how to play videos, actually watching what was available, which, to be honest, wasn't great at that period. Has gotten a lot better content-wise, which is great. And then, spoke to, Ryan Lewis Johnson. I'm like, person I respect, local Sydney player.
We really want to bring him on.
Yeah. I miss talking to that guy. I haven't seen him enough just because not enough, you miss the community sort of thing. Started talking to him. I'm like, okay, what deck would I play if I'm here? He's like, okay, so what are the best decks? What deck would I be playing if I'm playing this game?
It's Ryan. Is that what you're saying?
Like, well, no. I mean, I would have found Kano anyway. It was just that he made it streamlined for me because he's just like, look, in this Blitz format, which is probably the format you should probably get into first, this wizard character is doing pretty all right. I'm like, sure, that sounds cool. Start looking into that content for that. Probably that same day, I go on a Facebook group in Auckland, find the deck, buy out a deck. Just literally found a guy, luckily, that was just like everything except for
a deck,
everything except for a tunic and an eye. So it had Storm Striders and everything else. I'm just like, yeah, snap, I'll buy it. Met him at a coffee shop.
That was in Auckland, right?
That was in Auckland, yeah.
Nice.
Ubered over, bought the deck, and then started goldfish.
yeah.
Bought it, and then.
But let's give context. What was your modern deck?
Well, see, I'm a degenerate combo player. Like that's the thing, right? So
starts with an S word.
Well, Storm.
Yeah,
Storm was one.
Does this for the non-MTG? It's a same thing. Set up, kill.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. The idea is I'm trying to play the game.
It's not control. It's just
it's not like
get the right pieces and you can't win. Or they can't win.
Yes, for the most part. Like it's like so combo. I guess is very different in comparison to what Flesh and Blood because combo
starts to seem like ninja in Flesh and Blood, which is not really.
But in Flesh and Blood was also I think a lot of people use that nomenclature to describe pretty much like a powerful turn that you have. Like, hey, I've managed to get off this big dominate attack, and that's a combo.
Like Art of War into this is a combo.
Correct.
But it's not where a one shot combo.
Correct.
OTK combo.
Yeah, which is basically the generic way I think in Magic, from where my background comes from, is where we used to reference it. So I used to I love playing the games in a different way and approaching and attacking from a different angle sort of thing most of the time. There were some times I'd play like the aggressive decks because that was fine. But a lot of the time I was focusing on, I'm going to do, I'm playing a different game.
Yes. Well, you're playing your own game with Kano, more or less. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's as close as you can get to playing outside of the normal standard Flesh and Blood. Yeah.
Especially early days. It was like the only deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the only other variant I think at that point was would have been OTK Viscerai, which was stack your enchants and then just block, play out, gain rune chance, block, and then just throw a 6 attack. Or
Hayden
something.
At Nationals, yeah.
It's even pre that. It was like not even as good when it didn't even have Sonata, right? So this is pre Monarch. There was OTK Viz, which was another one obviously I looked towards, but then saw.
What's your highlight? So you're a judge, obviously. We'll get into that. But what's your highlight of playing so far? Flesh and Blood, that is.
I don't know. Like I haven't had it, to be honest. Like for like most of the major events we've had around, so like the Nationals, even the calling, I judged that instead of playing. Like highest thing I've done is like PQs and stuff like that. The competitive seems very, very, very interesting to me. I'm super happy to
Are
be
you
able to play
planning
this
to travel? I don't. Yeah, we haven't. You're going to New Zealand?
100%.
Fuck
Going to
yeah.
New Zealand. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Everyone's going. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, no, I'm
have you
super
been
stoked.
overseas for FAB yet?
No, not for FAB, which is a miss. Like Magic.
Have
that
you
was, like,
applied for the judging stuff where they fly you?
I have.
It would be easier
I-
probably with level 2, wouldn't it?
Not even. I had a judge lead position for side events for calling Singapore just before PT2. Unfortunately, that fell through.
right.
I didn't get a chance.
You were going to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had that all lined up. Like they had me getting my details and everything. Unfortunately, it just fell through. I just wasn't able to make it at that point.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. I was really, really looking forward to that. Would have been a very interesting event to be
Let's
a
go
part
Baltimore, mate. No problem.
of. We'll talk about that. That's just
We'll get into that. But yeah, you travelled abroad for Magic.
yeah,
Quite a bit.
Yeah. At least from 2015 to 2018, went to at least if there was something Southeast Asia, I was there with whoever I could get to go with me, sort of thing. I really, really enjoyed traveling to those sort of events. It was just a lot of fun, and I'm really hoping that we get to kind of adopt with the group and the community that we're building that sort of style again, because that was just. Yeah, it takes you back. It's just hanging out with the boys, and doesn't matter where you are realistically.
So it scratches the competitive itch for you playing Fab?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you've top 8 at a bunch of Pro Quests. Came second at one.
Both.
Yeah.
Played two top. At least came second both. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Says a lot about you, Mitch.
Yeah, and you killed me in the final of that skirmish.
Skirmishes or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the competitive side of it is very much an aspect that draws me to the game. Very much
Do you
enjoy
prefer judging over playing?
I haven't played enough competitive events, to be honest. And at the moment, just because we have so few events and so many judges by the seams of it, like it gets locked up very quickly now. So it's like, I'd rather just play, to be honest.
Yeah. I hope Ryan's... I mean, I know the reason we don't see Ryan much is he lives 15 minutes from here, but he works far away. So he can't come to armories locally here. Usually we'll come at like 8, which is too late. But I'm pretty sure he's still playing.
Yeah, he is. He is. He works a lot.
I'm sure he'll be judging some events.
Okay, do you have a moment playing Kano? Like, share with us the moment. Has someone like fully tilted when you've gone off with Kano? What's the most visceral salt
Me
that
every
your
week.
opponent... Yeah, is it John just packing his cards up and walking away? Is there anyone else who's been as salty as John?
Not really.
Like, don't need to name names, but like, has there been any funny occurrences?
Please name names.
Not really, no, surprisingly. Nothing as bad as what I've seen in Magic sometimes. But yeah, generally it's just John for the most part. Just immediately we sit down.
I don't get that salty with Kano.
It's more me sitting across from you, but sure.
Well, you've been pretty lucky sometimes. Like
the L word.
No, but you sometimes
it's
it
always
is
been
luck.
luck.
Sometimes you hit off the top.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I
Or
played
you-
Dory. Like at Pro Tour, where I like to brag, I came 42nd.
A lot of the time.
One of the wins where people were watching, I glinted into a twinning when they overblocked. There is no more luck than that, because if I don't hit it, if I hit anything else in my deck, no, I just have to pass, and I lose all my counters. But that's how I beat the guy. He conceded immediately when he saw it. He probably still could have won, but
One of my most satisfying moments was when Mitch Kano'd into the eye and whiffed his whole combo
isn't it
turn.
amazing?
Doesn't get any better than that. The one card that cost him the game.
Those are the
it's a good
worst.
card. Hey, look, this guy was winning skirmish, was high rolling the shit out of me. I don't know why he insisted on rolling scabbies.
Because I'm a Timmy.
If all he did was swing weapons, he
attack,
would have
win.
won.
Yeah,
I think he had like a 14 life lead in blitz, and then he
Sounds
goes
about right.
scabbies 1 pass, and I killed him. It was not good, because he would have probably I top 8'd that one, so you would have probably top 8'd.
Yeah. And you you weren't the only game that I threw
No,
away
you
that
told
day.
me.
I did it twice.
What's funny is I don't know what the word for it is that it's like a fallacy. Because he'd rolled 1 in the game before. He told me, because we're friends, so we're bantering during the game.
Yeah,
He's
of
like,
course.
there's no way I roll 1 again, right? But that's not how odds work.
Correct.
You can't play that way.
I realised that out actually with Talishar and Barkbone strapping. the amount of fucking times I rolled 1 and 1 in a row, game after
Yes.
game, so many times. Like I was like, I messaged Joshua. I'm like, Joshua, is there something wrong with the?
I've asked
is there
about
something
the
wrong with the old
randomness.
random number generator here? Because
Yeah.
I'm rolling ones like every other game.
We should bookmark that topic for later.
But he's like, nah,
The
it's fine.
Talishar in general. There's a lot of like debate around this take backs and someone, banishes a card and then
Oh,
they
the
take back and
undo
do
and
it.
then-
Everyone's like, I feel so wrong about that.
We'll get into
we
that in
should.
another episode. That's a good topic for another
100%.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we should video call Jotrick, have a proper conversation. And when we see him next,
Yeah.
only problem is this year it doesn't look like there's Europe on the cards.
Unless there's a calling
Like
that you want to go to.
we both might end up at Baltimore, but Europe's not on
But
the
we
cards.
still got another Pro Tour and Worlds.
No, isn't
it's-
the whole
it's
point?
one
There's
Pro
one
Tour,
Pro
right?
Tour and Worlds.
It's one
That's
Pro
it.
Tour, Worlds, and Nationals. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Otherwise,
This
there's
is it. It's
callings.
Baltimore in April and Worlds probably in November. That's
Also,
it.
okay.
But there's more callings and many more battle
That's
hards.
right. They did. They
Ba-
nuked the Pro
Basically,
Tour.
which is the good news for us is I know for a fact Parramatta will have a battle hardened. So the battle hardens, which is you can get a PTI, will be many more. So if you want to, you can travel locally and play.
Yeah.
And they're just going to give more stores battle hardens because I think they've realized there's some very good players that don't qualify and don't go because especially in countries like ours where it's just no access. But if there's like 6 battle hardens a year, the good players should qualify.
So what you're saying is you don't think Europe will get Worlds?
No, they've already confirmed this.
Oh, have they?
What?
I thought they confirmed. Maybe it's just the Pro Tour they've confirmed.
I think it's just the Pro Tour.
Pro Tour. I don't remember.
I can't imagine Europe getting Worlds.
Why?
That's
I'm
interesting.
pretty sure the North American, okay.
Do you think player base say trump the whole of Europe?
Probably.
Yes. At the end of the day, is 2 factors that I know of. One is, well, everyone knows it's a business. They have to look at bottom line. I'm pretty sure Lille was successful, but it wasn't full. If you remember Lille, like there was, the photos even you could tell like the building was a lot of attendance, but it wasn't like crazy packed. Second, the US player base, I'm pretty sure is still like 10x Europe.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Like it's very active.
I think they'll do West Coast if they do it in America
Yeah, which
again
is
for
why
Worlds.
I think we're getting Baltimore Pro Tour, right? Mind you, that again we'll get into it. I don't know what the logic is. That sounds like a budget problem to me. Is they whatever time of year maybe they've gone.
Well, let's get into it now. Let's fucking do
Well,
it.
isn't April like tax time? Is it? I don't know. There's something.
Okay.
April's pretty
So,
busy in the US.
Let's before we get into outsiders. So in the outsider announcement,
Yeah,
if
hidden.
you clicked on the outsider product information sheet, which was a PDF document,
There's a banner.
there's a banner in there that was one of the new heroes with the Pro Tour
The
announcement.
female assassin.
Aruzi? Aruzi?
Oh man,
How do you
the
pronounce that
art
name?
is so sick.
Oh,
All of it.
Dude, that ranger guy doesn't look like a ranger. Looks like
Bro.
a fucking ogre.
those heroes are lit, man. They're so fucking good.
Do you reckon there's an adult Benji? There has to be an adult Benji.
No,
No,
it's,
that's
it's young hero for draft and limited, right? So they don't have to.
Sure, they don't have to, but it makes sense. So far, every draft set has an adult version of the hero.
No, not in this one.
No, every draft set has had.
Yeah.
Did it say anywhere there's no adult? There could be an adult,
Technically
is what
not,
I'm saying.
but-
I agree, but there could be.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. Because, by the way, they can go Benji star of the show. It doesn't matter to limited.
Wouldn't that be wild if
But why
there
wouldn't
was
they?
an adult like Benji that
But it's
they
a new
haven't
Benji.
spoiled yet?
Hmm.
That'd be
They
nuts.
could do it. You never know. It could be like the Legendary or the FAB or
Dude,
whatever.
the spoiler season is like not that far away.
No, it's not.
Like right after we get back from New Zealand is
New
spoiler
Zealand, yeah.
season. We could probably pick up spoiler cards in New Zealand.
I'm probably going to give it to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I want an
Let's be
envelope. I
honest.
want to.
But while we're back,
Yes,
before we
yes.
get into outsiders, let's stay on this Pro Tour. So it was in this PDF, it was this banner, which basically,
April 20 something?
yeah, end of April or 25th,
23 or
23 to 27th, and $200,000 USD cash prize pool, pretty sweet.
Mm.
And Baltimore, Maryland, which is East Coast, USA. And right away, there has been
the group chats blew.
Yeah.
Our local group chats
Look.
blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Look, what was funny is I was trying to play devil's advocate. I'm like, man, come on, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, the vitriol and the feelings and the triggering is real, especially with the people from down under in Aussie.
It's pretty far for us.
And I see most people's concern are proximity to Australia, New Zealand, which
which is also Asia. Like it's not
pretty much.
Yeah,
and the actual city itself. For some reason, people think that they may have bodily harm done to them, which is, in my mind, absolutely
I haven't heard those
ridiculous.
rumors yet,
But yeah, so there's actually a real concern. I probably shouldn't laugh about other people's concerns, but there is a concern people are having with their safety in this city. I don't know. People have done fact finding, and it's like the second or third.
It's the second
most dangerous.
Because I was
city.
looking and I was reading the list in inverse, and I'm like telling some people that were in my opinion, overreact. I'm like, Jersey says the crime rate's higher, but Jersey was like rank low. And it was going up, then I'm like, oh.
Look, Star City Games have been running their big
That was going to be my question.
in
Is
Baltimore.
Yeah.
They've been doing it every year.
Look, the thing is, I think it's so usually. Let's say obviously it's fact that there's a high crime rate. Doesn't high means very little because it's usually subjective to the city and where, and because there's places in Sydney with a much higher crime rate than others. It usually involves two things: low socioeconomic, but also you can get stuff cheaper, like especially property.
Oh, accommodation's going to be a lot cheaper than bloody San Jose and New York.
But again, like that in and of itself is not is maybe part of the reason, right? So the reason we were in Jersey, not New York City, is I imagine New York City would be 10 times the cost.
100%.
And accommodations probably double.
Yes.
So they go Jersey, right?
Sure.
Like at the end of the day, guys, we don't have 10,000 people turn up to the event.
Baltimore's
That's-
fine. It's the home of the Ravens. Look, it's...
I don't know who that is.
NFL team.
I assumed.
Yeah, big franchise. They made a
I thought it
movie
was
on...
hockey. I don't know.
Yeah, they made it... Anyway, The Blind Side. Blind Side,
Yeah,
great movie.
okay.
Oh, really?
Check it. Yeah, that's where that
It's
guy
also
signed his
home
contract.
of The Wire, which is
One of my favourite
One of my
shows.
favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, you got to talk to me about money laundering. I love that show so much. Yeah, so look, a lot of these stats and figures are really conflated. You can lie with stats. There was a book written on that. Like you can, not that you can lie. You can create a narrative to suit your agenda and cherry pick stats. Like it is possible, and the media always, trumps up and exaggerates certain issues. But look, I think if you have your wits about you, right? Like if you're out at night, make sure you're not alone or going off into some deep dark alleys. But I just think for the most part, you're going to be fine, right? Seriously, I think you should be sweet. I think it's going to be good because you are going to have affordable accommodation options. I think it's going to be, a different part of the city. People like, I know for myself, I probably wouldn't visit Baltimore like as
Without
a tourist,
an occasion,
without
yeah.
an occasion. So I'm going to see
the food and stuff. Like it's always going to be good to go around and experience a
exactly.
city.
I'm going to get exposed to a part of America that I would never go to.
So I'm from Lebanon. That's a fact. I'm sure Lebanon has a higher crime rate than Baltimore. Just generally does. But being from I never felt unsafe in Lebanon. But that, if it was like an election year, there's probably some places in town I could tell you not to go to.
Yeah.
Especially if you look a certain race or a certain religion. It's just it's like known.
Sure.
And I think in general as traveling advice, if you're going to go wearing a $5,000 jacket and a gold Rolex and like your favorite Nikes, you shouldn't travel like that to most non-tourist destinations. I'm not even talking about, but I'm talking even Egypt, which is a tourist destination, is very well known for they will take your finger and your ring if it's hanging out of a car. Because there's a lot of poor people, right? So you should be aware of that. Because I think even some LSS staff have had issues in like New York City, which is safer, right? But still,
And outside bloody Disneyland,
Yeah, so
apparently.
Really?
well, but the point is,
Yeah,
I
obviously.
would suggest you travel light.
Yeah.
You're not going to a fucking big tourist destination, high roller city.
Don't take your whole collection unless you
Don't take your whole
need to.
collection. Buy some singles. Like if you got all these foils in your deck, buy some of those singles from vendors. Like I wouldn't put. It's not like an overly stressful thing. Just travel light. If you're not wearing a watch, your watch can't get stolen. If that, by the way, I don't even know if that's what people's worries are. But when I travel,
That's what
I
you can say.
don't travel with that stuff because I don't want to pay really high insurance and I don't want to worry about it.
And literally, America's a funny place too, that you could be walking down one street downtown.
New York was
and then
weird.
literally the next block up, right, parallel, could be
Different
like
country.
the most dangerous freaking block in the
different
whole
country.
city. Like that happened to me in 2018. I was in San Francisco. We went out every night of the week. I was out to all hours, and most of the time we were walking up and down parallel, either one or two streets down from the most, inverted commas, dangerous street. Yeah. And you just knew at dark, you probably shouldn't walk along that street, right? So just stay where you are. There's no need to walk 2 blocks up and you'll be fine.
In my experience, anything that's going to feel dangerous, one is mind your own business, right? Like, you can walk through the most dangerous place on earth and not get bothered, right? People go to Mexico for holidays all the time. There's cartels there. But most people don't get kidnapped for ransom. Do you know what I mean? Like, they leave you alone. If you leave people alone, they generally will avoid you. And the other thing is, don't draw attention. So, like, maybe don't take a bright red designer jacket on your trip if you feel like, if you have any fear of, like, drawing attention.
I reckon the people there are going to be some of the friendliest in America.
I agree. I'm looking
in those areas when they're not heavily tourist destinations and maybe the demographic is a little bit lower, usually those people are more friendly.
The question, man, I want cheap food. Like, cheap, good food is like my thing when I travel. Lille was amazing for that. Everywhere was like good food. And because it's not like the middle of Paris. You know what I mean? Like, middle of Paris probably has more options and it's nicer food, but Lille was like on point. I don't know. I was curious mainly if other card game tournaments have been run there.
Yes.
Then this is an exaggeration. Because rather than looking at like the murder rate, if you're looking at, for the last 10 years there's been like these events that this company's run with no issues. You know what I mean?
It's like Chicago. It's got the biggest shooting, rate in America. Yeah, that's like way out of the city in South Side Chicago or wherever. Like, who the heck, like, I'm not disparaging that area, not at all. But if you're a tourist going to a convention in downtown Chicago, you're not going to be hanging out 30, 40-minute drive away at 3 o'clock in the morning at these parties where the drive-bys are happening.
And there's usually
so you've got nothing to worry about.
Concentration of police and stuff in cities anyway.
You've got nothing to worry about.
Also, we all travel in groups. Like, that's usually, you're immune to that stuff. Like, there's I've never been to all the events I have been to. It's like 5-10 people walking at once. We're all walking together. It's not even on purpose. It's just we're there to socialize, more or less.
I just think you should be as vigilant with this trip as you would with any other trip.
Yeah. Like I said, travel, like, you're going for a tournament. Anyway, I wouldn't take all my valuables with me and $5,000 in cash in my fanny pack. Just don't do that.
I got told even with the bloody jersey. People were telling me, don't ride on the subway at night. Fuck, I rode on the subway at night, no problem. Like, literally had zero issues. So again, you hear a lot of chitter chatter. And
by the way, I think that it's possible everywhere to get in trouble.
Of course, wrong place, wrong time.
Like, you are never 100% safe anyway. But I don't know. I think it's a bit overblown. My issue is if it's like 30 plus hours of travel with my back. It was not fun getting to Jersey, and but it is. If there's only one Pro Tour this year, it kind of feels like you got to button down and go. Right, Mitch?
True. Yeah, for sure.
You gonna make it?
Hope so. I mean, I'm more aiming for the invite first and then make the destination.
No, man.
Oh, yeah. If you get the invite, you're going, right?
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Just grind XP.
That's what I did. Alternative.
Hey, wait. When's the 90 days?
When's
April.
April?
It's now.
It'd be roughly starting right now, yeah.
They don't usually announce that, do they?
No.
It's 90 days. But it's 90 days minus a week or whatever. But also, we got ProQuest this weekend. So ProQuest is going to matter a lot for the XP grind. Because that's how I made it to Lille, was ProQuest XP.
Sure.
3 top 8s out of 4 was how I got it to Lille. Because it's just 6x.
It's a lot of XP.
And that same thing, that's why there's going to be a lot of battle hardens. It's 6x XP.
So are you going to grind for this Pro Tour? Is that your goal to qualify, John, for this one?
I didn't grind the last one.
That was,
it was an accident. No, I wasn't. I was just playing armories.
Yeah, but you were playing every day.
Yeah, but I was playing armory. I was not thinking about it.
Oh, you weren't thinking about it.
No, that's actually why I made it, because I had no idea, and I was like,
But now that it happened for you,
if
are
I
you
don't
setting that
qualify,
goal?
look, I'll go anyway, I think, but I will try and qualify through the ProQuest. Going to 2 of them. I think Dory's as good as she's going to be right now.
She's pretty good right now.
Like, everyone's playing Dash and Fi. Like, I can beat those. I got Oasis Respite in the deck. Common knowledge. Like, if I see a Kano or an Icelander, I'm confident.
And you're playing Kano?
No, you're not.
I have 3 decks.
Whoa. What's the third?
It's Dash.
Oh, you got Dash?
Yeah, I've been doing coaching with Phil. So.
Oh, shit.
How much money is Phil making on coaching? And how much does he owe us for...
Phil's a good coach.
He is.
He's very good.
I haven't seen him coach a champion yet.
Yeah, but it hasn't been an event yet.
I'm just saying. Listen, the second one of you pupils win,
Sure.
I'd be like, okay, he's legit.
Okay.
He's offered to coach me. I say no.
It's I understand that you want to see that, but
No, I know he
if
is.
you're taking someone from like fully
That's
noob
that's
level
harder. Yeah.
to like winning armories, which I think he's done,
Yes. I know.
that's actually pretty damn good.
Hey, I did that on my YouTube channel. I'm a coach. It's true. I'm not kidding. Some guy, Dale, shout out Dale from Melbourne. He was in chat when we did a big live stream.
Right.
It's like, hey, man, I'm new. And we all welcome him, you know,
Sure,
because
yeah,
the community's really good. A lot of our locals are in the chat all the time. He was asking questions. I referred him to my new player video. So he went and watched that. He's like, dude, it's very good advice. And he went and won 2 matches. Like, dude, I only won because when I lost 2, I asked a lot of questions and I faced the same deck. And then I'm like, ooh, that'll give him go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a simple shit that we get told when we start playing. It's like, ask about go again, ask about on hits. You don't have to read the whole card, and it worked. But I think that's harder to do, correct? I think it's hard to get someone winning armories. That's like the big hurdle. Because you can play for 6 months in FAB and not win an armory.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing a pet deck and you're not simply jumping onto the best. I was going to say, you got to play to your local meta. There's a few Kanos. There's 3-4 Kano mains now. It's not just you.
Sure.
Steven, it's you. German's been playing a lot of Kano. And there's someone else trying to remember. But
Kano, Hayden could rock up with Kano.
He might.
well, that's
I've heard whispers.
no. He's public about it.
Yeah.
Like I asked him, he's like, because
Like
he
he's
was
been
laughing. I'm
playing
like,
one.
it's funny that people consider him a Rhinar main, and we've never seen him play Rhinar. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll play it at an armory. He's like, yeah, I'm not actually. If anything, like, look at what I played at Pro Tour.
It was a Pro Tour. He's a Kano main.
He's a Kano main.
Mitch, what was your question? What was your like onboarding experience into FAB? Like, do you remember back as a new player? Did you find that transition to having some competency in the game pretty smooth? Like, I know we went into lockdown. I don't know if you played on camera a lot.
I did. I bought a webcam specifically for that because I'm like, I'm sick of missing out. I'm like, I wanted to play. I literally bought a deck and then came back and we went to lockdown. So,
Lucky you didn't stay in New Zealand.
yeah, right. Yeah, it wasn't. It took me probably like, I mean, because I was playing Kano as well, made it even more difficult. But yeah, it was the same thing. It's more picking up the generic things from Magic just because I've played that competitively. It's the same thing of learning what was relevant, what's not, working out what my deck does, and then just playing it off of the matchups so that you just work out, oh, okay, this is what's happening. I think it was a lot easier for me to transition just because I've played other TCGs.
You didn't get frustrated by the game or ever think, no, I'm going to stop playing, I'm going to quit because it's
never.
too hard, or no?
No, he just gets frustrated with the deck.
Yeah.
It's
Which
true.
is
Like,
fine.
you'll switch decks for a bit because you're like, Kano hasn't been working.
Yeah.
And
Occasionally I'll just go, I'll play Briar. I'll put Briar Blitz together, whatever.
Yeah.
This works fine.
But I think we all need that sometimes. You just get like...
Oh,
the local meta changes. Like, a set comes out and you're on Dory Blitz and you think it's great, and then you're like, oh, wait, Dash exists. You can't beat Dash. All right, I need to find something
That's
else.
why I moved to Rhino and Blitz, because Bolton
best
just
deck.
got nearly unplayable
So
at one
good,
point.
though.
Like he like Bolton literally got basically unplayable in Blitz.
That's fair.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
fuck, I need to do something else here, and that's how I went to Rhino.
The quicker the game gets, the mid-range decks just fall off. And funnily enough, Rhinor's a mid-range deck, except for in Blitz. It's the most aggressive deck. Just because it can set up and do 20 and end the game.
Ryan is one of the most funny ones because it's just like it's top tier in Blitz
And
CC,
bottom tier.
Yeah, and then CC it's pretty meh.
It's close to bottom, I think.
Yeah.
I think Azalea's stronger in
But
CC.
it had
Yeah.
success last season, though,
No, in
Rhino.
Malaysia doesn't count. No
They had
offense.
Malaysia,
Again-
Canada, Chandler Toe won the calling.
Okay.
Right.
Like,
but
okay,
we just had that was all pre-disruption, right? We've literally just started a
Yes.
new format where
Yeah.
there have been
Also,
bringing
listen,
back
I'm
changes.
talking last format.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
this
the
is
fact that you can
current,
roll a
roughly.
D6 and maybe get 2 action points out of it is already in and of itself. You can win worlds with Rhino. Because, yeah, if you get a little lucky, because Rhino has the double luck thing. It has the boots. Like, Go Again is free, but risky. But it's the only deck with, like, pure free action points. They're just risky. And then you've got luck on, like, banishing Beast Withins and... Sorry, discarding Beast Withins and now Skull. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you get double lucky in any match, there's not really any hero that can sit back and you triple int him and smack him for 20. Like, what deck actually stands up to that? None.
Nothing.
And it forces bad blocks, especially double int him, and then they're holding they're two blues that they needed to play the turn, but they have to block for value. It's very good. But the problem is in a tournament, it's not, because the minute your dice rolls bad, you can also just get blown out because your deck is mediocre at best with no luck. And Dory's the same sort of style. Dory is a very mediocre deck, but with counters, she's way above rate. Rana is extremely mediocre, but with a little bit of luck is S tier. But it's like a spiky thing. Well, you get Briar, Dash, even Kano. The line is not as spiky as Rhino. It's
and that baseline
it's more
starts
consistent.
higher up.
Well, the baseline's higher, and it just like Dash just goes, and then Briar, the baseline's good, and then with Channel Mount, it's like S tier at the top. You know what I mean?
And then there's the occasional dip where
Rhino could do more damage in a turn than Briar can. It's just you need to get there. You need to have the pieces all line up and the discards line up, and you pitch your eye, and you can. It's good, but I don't think it's
I guess Briar's high roll turns also depend on how much armor and blocking and this and that. Well, with Reiner, there's like your high roll turns don't really have on hits, right?
No,
it's just like if you're going to high roll, you're going to high roll.
But the reason
they can't out. It's like blocking ain't going to make a difference.
Though.
It's just like
it's
if I start
damage, you can literally quad. I've quintuple intim 6 intims in a turn. Like they only had 4 cards, but I had the 2 extra ones, and it comes in for 20. What do you do? Like, did you? That's why it doesn't have. Imagine that also said, draw a card or destroy. Like, imagine if you could triple intim and then on hit destroy Arsenal. Like, that's not. That's why Rana doesn't have a card that says your next attack is a brute card. You like. If you can do that with CNC, the game's like absolutely stupid. Imagine going triple intim into a CNC. What
is that, Cinderbrand? Is that the Fire card?
Yeah, but see, it makes sense of Fire because the number's like 5. It's not. It's not intimed and what would it be with, like, let's just go 1 yellow, 1 red barraging is +7. So it's 13 on hit, destroy. Plus you've lost 2 cards to block with. You don't want that in the game. That would get banned very quickly. Imagine if barraging red, your next attack is brute. Go Talishar just to tilt people.
Outsiders. So, forcing Ninja is back on the menu. Now, am I going to force the shit out of Benji or what? Oh, I can't wait to draft Benji.
So, my take, and you guys can tell me your takes. I'm excited for the draft format because there's only 2 drafts. There's only 2. You're either drafting Assassin or Ranger.
Or Ninja.
It's 3. But it's 3, and then there's the mixture cards. I wonder how many of those there's going to be. Because there's hybrids? Assassin, Ninja, the hybrid cards.
Well, it's hybrid, I imagine, across all the pairs, right? And
we've seen the Majestic is a hybrid, so but I wonder how many hybrids there are.
Yeah, do you
what
think
I'm saying is you're going to, like your pick order is going to be a lot more straightforward. You hit a Majestic, let's say, and it says Assassin, Ranger, and it's pretty good. Now you're already not going to go Ninja. Or you pass it on and you know that they're not. Yeah.
I think the drafts, I think it's going to be the opposite. I think there's going to be a lot more decision points in your drafts, and I reckon the drafts are going to be a little bit slower because once you got in your line in Uprising, you sort of slam those picks quite quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas like old school Magic drafting, like you had those moments,
it's like
but there was a
color in Magic.
Yeah, there was a lot of debilitate. There was a lot. You took longer with your picks because there was more to evaluate. So I have a feeling in this set, you'll be put in those positions where you're evaluating because you eventually, I don't know how deep you're going to be purely open for all 3 classes, but once you get into your class,
I don't think you can ever be open for all 3 unless it's generic.
But then you're going to get into your class, and then you're going to then have to decide, okay, which way am I going to go in my class? I wonder
how much they've made it where you can stay open for 2 classes.
I think it's going to be.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's they've guaranteed 3 Majestic, one Majestic for the pair, and I imagine probably 2 to 3 rares, which gives you what?
So remember, they compared this to WTR draft. In WTR, you could stay open for a long time.
Yeah,
a lot of all the equipment's generic, pretty much, except the legendaries, right? So you would draft equipment, defense reacts, attack reacts, and like.
Well, your equipment's kind of decided, right? That's what was specific.
But there were like Iron Rot, you
Sure.
just grab it because you could put it in any of the decks, right? Like, and that's what you see most often was the generic equipment. All I'm trying to say is they've compared it to WTR, which you could stay open till like pick 6 in WTR. That was the. But if they've compared it to that, I'm assuming there's a lot of generic and shared.
Oh,
that's
for
what
sure.
I'm trying to say.
That's what my first thought was.
But if you say forcing Ninja, you might not be solidified into Benji or Katsu, maybe until
but that's
at
also
the end of the second pack.
sub-selection,
No,
yeah.
but imagine not till the end.
Yeah.
Then you look at your deck and go, do I want to go fetch cards or do I want the +1 every turn?
Or, oh no, you can't do that. I was just having a brain fart. Can you switch heroes in a pod
Between
They might
games?
allow it. I don't think they will.
So if I played game 1, I'm Katsu, and then I'm like, ooh, okay, next matchup, I know what they're playing because I'm next to them. Sweet,
I know
I'm gonna
sealed-
play Benji now.
By the way,
Sealed at pro
sealed
level,
you
you
could.
could- you definitely
Sealed
could.
you could.
draft,
Can
I'm
you
not
do that?
sure about.
Well, they'll just write.
It's a good question.
They'll yeah.
I
Well,
have to double check. It's been a while.
the reason it makes sense is nothing else would change because it's unless you got like Katsu specialization in the deck, nothing changes, right? Which we can assume that's like a Majestic. You're not going to hit very often.
But doesn't Benji want more 2-power attacks?
Yeah.
Well, current. We don't. Again, yeah.
Well, what does Benji's text say? The next attack is +1.
No. That's Iroh. Benji's the
No. His text is
2 or less. 2 or less are unblockable
no. That's not what the text says.
for Benji.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Benji.
Yeah, Benji's the 2 or less.
Yeah.
It's fine. Keep talking. I'll pull it up. I was
Because,
looking at it before.
It blew my mind that they like. I thought it was a 4. Everyone thought it was 4 because I think we all got juked, right? Because some store linked something about getting something, but obviously they were wrong. And yeah, 6 heroes. Ranger getting some massive support, which is going to be
Here
huge.
we go. Here's the text.
Assassin.
Your attack actually was 2 or less power, can't be defended. That's the first line. The second line is that the first time an attack action you control hits, your next attack gets +1.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
you
but there
don't
is a
need
buff.
2 power attacks for it to work. Just your second attack that if an attack hit, your second one is +1.
So having a mix isn't.
It has
worse,
so you could play the same deck as Benji, but that's you know what that makes me think. Katsu is the red line, and if you end up with a lot of yellows and blues,
You go to
you
Benji.
play Benji because
Because
it's
of
you know what I
the
mean. Because
lower
ninja cards usually red is 0 for 3 go again, but
Sure.
in Benji 0 for 2 go again is actually better. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's close.
But that actually maybe they've done the other classes the same is because the issue with like Uprising is
Probably.
reds were so strong, and blues for Icelander it
yellows
just
are
made it
kinda relevant.
clunky that if you got a lot of yellows in the pod. But Benji plays yellows and blues way better than reds. That's how it's designed because they pitch better, but also you want a lot of 2 attacks.
It depends how it's speculation because with Ranger, right? We've got Azalea, which is arrows.
We know, yeah.
And then the other one though was
Traps.
the traps, which there's only 3 of them
You
in the
reckon
game
it's
currently.
a ranger with no bow? 'Cause
Yeah,
the
potentially.
image looks like there's no bow.
On his back.
Yeah.
Sure, but like it's not the primer. Like it doesn't look.
But
He
not
doesn't look
even-
like an archer.
He could be the first ranger to get a non like ranged weapon, pretty much potentially,
But
which would be surprising.
One thing I am excited for is we know how Assassin plays, even though there's a new mechanic. There's a new Arachne
Yes,
as well. So this
Or
set
the
is
young
Arachne
one.
support, which means any Arachne spec will work on the old, but we actually have 3.
We don't know that though, because the young Iraqi could play slightly. It
has
play
the text.
I don't think it does. I don't
No.
think
It just
that's
says the
spoiled.
name. I'm saying it's Arachne something.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
what I'm
which
saying. So
means-
it has a different. It's going to have a different.
Sorry, it could be the new Arachne specialization is not playable. But either way, we know Ranger's difficult to play because you've got to think of like there's a line. It's much more complicated than like a warrior line where you just swing the weapon. You have to load arsenal, potentially putting a counter, picking a mode on the bow. Like there's a little bit more. That's actually going to help, I think, skill levels across the board. And Arachne's the same. Arachne, we know, opts your opponent deck, pick what to put on bottom. That's in the draft environment. That's some big brain shit. Like that's a ceiling for skill. It'll be very fun to see.
And
Because these are not simple heroes that just swing weapons. You know what I mean? Like Arachne's got to play around with your deck, and Ranger has to flip and load and face up and face down. Right? Like there's mechanical stuff.
Current ranger again.
Well, Azalea will.
Yes.
The
Well,
new
there's-
Ranger we don't know.
Well, there has to be a bow in the set because we're having a. Azalea,
having Azalea minimum,
right?
sure.
For draft, at least a token.
There'll be some, but they could just put Death Dealer, whatever the token one is, right? They don't necessarily have to print a new bow.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
But I think that most of the Ranger equipment would be synergized around Riptide just because Azalea has equipment already and Riptide doesn't
hope
have
so.
anything, especially if he doesn't have a bow. If he doesn't have a bow, then why?
A lot of the equipment's
he needs
irrelevant.
equipment, right?
Yeah.
Because the equipment that we currently have is not relevant for him.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, it's a speculation.
I'm excited because also no talent. So anything in this is set. If you're a ninja or a ranger player,
Playable.
you might there's 5 legendaries in the set. I think that one of them is generic. Well, actually, how would it work? You need 3 class legendaries.
Yeah, 2 generics.
They
maybe?
could be
Maybe
hybrid
2
cards, and they
generic.
didn't mention
There
it.
could be 2
Ooh,
hybrid
hybrid equipment
legendaries. Yes, that'd be great.
Damn.
That'd be great. Look, Assassin Ranger there's some synergy.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of polar opposites. Like Rangers playing off the top of your deck, Assassins playing off the top of their deck. It's kind of cool.
Very cool.
The art looks phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. It's like a bit steampunk, a bit dark.
And then, look, what do you think about the young assassin, Aruzi? Her art is amazing. So
Yes.
the
Oh, the
border,
swap between two,
the
okay.
border of
Azuri.
the border of young Azuri.
Also, her name's Switchblade. I fucking hope they give her a Switchblade weapon.
Well, okay, so in the young version of her, she has the samurai sword just sitting
Yes.
behind her. Okay,
Or like what would look like a Kadachi or something.
correct. Yeah, so she's got samurai sword sitting behind her. So you
Yeah.
could assume the adult of her has some sort of blade, maybe not a samurai.
Dude, the adult art looks insane.
Looks insane, man. But
Gangster.
But you
Just-
look. She's obviously from the same
Man, do you reckon
area.
they'll let us spoil the heroes?
She's from Mysteria, right? She has the same
It's already set up.
background
Yes,
as
she's an
Katsu.
outsider. That's
Yeah.
the part of the.
But
yeah.
how is she connected? Do you think to
Is
Benji
that
and Katsu?
Mysteria though? What's
It
what's
is, no,
that
that's
border?
that is a mystery. It's
No,
Katsu.
the
Go to
young,
Katsu.
the
Oh,
young.
the young.
The young
Oh, the
version.
young. Okay, yes,
It's
yes.
the
yes.
same as Katsu and
And
Benji.
Benji, yes.
How do you think she's connected? A sibling? A child?
No idea. That's gonna come soon. I think.
Are they there to kill her? Are they there to rescue her?
No.
Well, okay. Azalea's backstory is pretty dark. Was literally kidnapping children for the mob, basically. And if I shorten it, so that could be her story. She was kidnapped. Like she's
Taken
part of the child labor or hired to be
Interesting.
trained as an assassin and is
Interesting.
bailed.
Only
Or
part of-
you know what I mean? Like
Literally, the only part that I disagree is that the last line of what the description of the Lord that he did give us is trying to go on the fact that she left Mysteria because
Sure.
she felt an outsider of Mysteria, so she found her home in the pits.
then maybe she's a bad person. Maybe
Probably.
because she's wearing the black text. Is that her art that looks like she's wearing black text, or was it no? No, it is. Yes, in her full art,
Really?
she's wearing black
Then
text.
why have Katsu?
So she's an assassin. Like,
Well, because
Why is Katsu and Benji entered the pits?
Revenge, who knows?
Yeah.
Well,
They-
it could-
they're
it could-
going into the pits to get her, right?
so it could be the
Well-
other way around. They're like the good assassins trying to assassinate her, who's a paid assassin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they could just be trying to find her. 'cause
Whatever it
she's
is, this is
missing.
going to be also. All of these heroes don't have a lot of armor, so this is not like a heavy block equipment type set.
That
This
we
is going
know
to be
about.
that we know.
Again,
Oh, the big ranger
Big
guy
dude?
looks pretty beefy,
And he's on less life, though. What are your
I
thoughts
didn't
on
even
that?
see that. What's he
His
on?
starting
38
life's
for
left
19.
18
I've been
for
busy.
Blitz,
19.
not
19 for Blitz and
38 for CC. Now, what does that
Yeah,
indicate to
19.
you? That he's more
Well,
offensive?
wait, so is the new Arachne. The new Arachne's on 19. Yep, Riptide
Yeah.
and Arachne are on 19.
So does that tell you they're more offensive?
Well, usually,
Not
yes.
Usually, right?
Well, it just means that
Or it's offsetting some pretty good. Like, remember, Arachne has armor that regens. Like they pay and get it back.
And
The
what were you
silvers.
saying? Offsetting the trap cards, Mitch?
Yes. So because again, apparently this is meant to be a trap based ranger,
Yes.
right? Traps are defense reactions. You probably wouldn't know it because there's only 3 that exist in the game, and there's no way in hell anyone's playing them against you.
Which is like, is it Feign Death? No, that's
No.
a different one.
It is
What's the other one?
Pitfall, Rock Slide, and I've got the
that's
red
right.
one.
It has the trap and the
The
leg getting
legs,
cut off.
yes.
Yeah. There's sick art.
Oh,
I think
sick-
hamstring trap, I think.
Right
maybe.
there. Speculative buy. Don't go buy them all out.
Do it! Do it!
No, but I'm serious. That could be very. They could be very playable in the
What
new
are they?
Ranger.
What rarity are they?
Rares and commons? I don't think they're.
I don't even know.
Even if they're majestic,
they're
it's not
single
played
colour,
right
they
now.
don't
They're
have-
very cheap cards.
But yeah, all they are defense reacts with an effect
Right.
unless the opponent pays a tax.
Can Jamie look that up for us, mate?
Is this Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah, I want to see what are those trap cards? What rare?
Technically, we could set that up, but we don't
No.
need to be Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Fine.
But we already see the TCG play a price on them.
Just go. As soon as the word traps,
I hope my video is like actually people listen to the whole fucking thing. The amount of DMs I got that people literally hadn't.
I think I saw a response video. Maybe not
It's
direct
fucking
response
hilarious.
video, but I think
is there a response video already?
Well, I don't know if it was directly to him, but it was someone saying was going buyouts or new player just new players getting into the game.
I agree. Most of the noise is just new players. There's no tunics. I don't think anyone's buying out tunics, man. It's just hard to find tunics. Like I literally believe there's more players join the game every week than there are tunics being unboxed. I'm literally trying personally to open. I've ordered 60 boxes of white border to try and open more tunics.
So many decks now don't use tunics
at the moment.
No, but every player wants a tunic.
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
still like
It's cool.
V card, right? Like it's way more.
It's good to have.
It's not a heart, which is why when the price is going up, I'm like, as long as it's cheaper than the heart, something's actually wrong with the game because it's way more playable than the heart. Like you put.
Don't know if it's good as hard and cross strap, but it's all right.
No, nothing is.
Not in Blitz anyway.
But my I don't think there's like. I think the buyout thing is some very surgical extract is the most obvious one. It's like
I
this
didn't
card.
really pay attention.
No, but that was very obvious. If you go to TCG Player Sold when the set came out, someone is just buying them, right? That shit is like what I'm against because it's not just the foil one either. Like just the foil one is whatever, but
It's the basic,
just
straight
yeah. But
raw.
there was especially in the US, but then that trickles the Australian price. I don't think it's super hard to find surgical strategies in Australia. It's just people want $60 for them because TCG Player says $60. I'm literally trying to single-handedly change this by
That's
just
fair.
opening.
I mean, there's just
like mass opening.
Now, you know what's going to... This ties into today's announcement. You want to know a big thing in the next 18 months that's going to put huge constraints on card availability unless they do massive reprints over there is today. Well done. Japan got their first pre-release announced. So if you click on the article and you go to the pre-release locator, that they have a link in there. It shows the whole map
Is
of
it
the globe.
official?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the whole map of the globe and they show all the pre-releases. And Osaka in Japan,
Yep.
it's like something game shuffle,
Yeah.
something, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a 2
Tell
p.m.
Timmy's Twitter.
Yeah, it's like 2 p.m. on a Saturday. They're getting a pre-release. It's their first ever pre-release in Japan. So well done, FAB Japan. I'd love to be there for
So
it.
one thing maybe worth mentioning because we've talked to Brennan off camera a bit about Japan and Fable, and because he's obviously the distributor, or Fable's a distributor that'll look after it. I think they can do a pre-release because it's a sealed, it's limited, but I don't think there's stock in Japan.
But imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine by the end of 2024, Japan has active players 15,000.
I'll tell
Just imagine a world like
then
that.
my friend, I'll
Then
be a
what?
rich man.
Then what? No,
Because I'm
but
doing free shipping to
That'd be
Japan
awesome.
all day.
Look,
but
I
I'm
hope
saying
they
like
get there.
no, I'm talking about all the cards we already have. Imagine a world where in 18
But
months,
you know
Japan
why that's
has,
not a problem? Because right now, History Pack is printed in Japan. Do you know how much simpler it is to logistically print and distribute in one country, not pay tax or shipping?
Do we know yet? Are they going to get all their history black label in Japanese?
I would imagine
Their
so.
language?
I would imagine
eventually,
so.
but I don't
But
think that's happening this year.
If
Not this
LSS
year,
are
no.
on, the problem is I don't think you can do like cold foiling and stuff in Japan. But if LSS are on board and they go do a wave of Arcane WTR, like they just do a Japan print, problem solved. Because most of the logistical problem is packing, shipping containers, time, import
Remember
tax.
we had this discussion before.
tariffs.
They've already announced it's all out of print.
Mate, but when they announce it's out of print, they announce it out of print in English. They can do whatever the fuck they want in Japan.
Fair enough.
Correct.
Also, I would say I know for a fact. I do know for a fact, but I can't tell you the sources. The Arcane Rising shortage, a whole chunk of it's earmarked for Japan.
Gotcha. I was about to say a lot of the time when even if it's out of print, they've pre-planned and
No,
gone,
but
if I
it's
need to
out
get
of print. If
singles
they
there-
by the way, if LSS have to change their out of print policy to take on if they can open up an entire new region, that's good for everyone. You should not.
Of course.
Oh no,
I'm
I think it's great.
super
But
excited to see Japan get
Oh,
involved.
dude, 100%.
I guess my point is, which is not bad. This isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
I hope this happens. What happens if, they've earmarked, 10 pallets of WTR Arcane Rising, and just say in the first 12 months, that's just not enough, right? The player growth exceeds that supply by like 5-fold. That's going to be very interesting.
That's happening to One Piece right now. Locally, the effect is untouched. It's actually... So, this is the thing. This is the difference between buyout, artificial scarcity shit. Artificial scarcity is why probably Magic is having so much trouble, is they go print collector sets and stuff and they jack the price to make it artificially scarce versus real market scarcity. The market doesn't hate real scarcity because... Real scarcity means you're sitting... Like, I know you collect some boxes. You've got a couple of boxes at home. If suddenly that WTR Unlimited Japan print that you paid $109 for is $500 in Japan, you'll probably sell it. Okay. A lot of people
I won't.
would sell it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the market goes that way and people in Japan are happy to pay a high premium, then you have the market, which is thousands and thousands of people with tens of thousands of boxes that they're sitting on for draft. I know a chunk of people that have a case of WTR for draft, not alpha, unlimited.
Yeah.
No reason to sell it and make an extra $10 than what you paid, is there?
No.
Even Arcane, you probably make $50 a box right now from what you paid. What's the point? Just keep it, right? But if it's suddenly quadruple, then it's like, well, wait, it's not quadruple here, but in Japan, if I put it on eBay, it bids up to $700 a box. We'll send it. But LSS, it all goes in roundabouts. If there's that much demand, LSS, even if they don't have the money, take a loan, print a whole crap load of cards, sell it in Japan, pay the loan. From a business perspective, it's very simple to go, there's demand, let's print. And remember, Unlimited's printed in Japan. I think that's already quite, it would, I think, would be 2 months quicker, 1 to 2 months quicker to publish in Japan than it is anywhere else for History Pack White Border. But they can just go History Pack White Border, but in black Japanese with no Cold Force, no Marvels. I reckon they within 12 weeks of the day they decide to do it. Because remember, this isn't Carta Monday in Japan. I think they're using a lower tier printer because you can tell by the card stock and how it's cut. It's good enough quality to play with, but it's not the same as Belgium. But they could mass print. And that would be what I would do. If you got the translation, the card backs, everything ready, you just send an order. Dude, imagine it's in Japan. Imagine if cards are printed in Australia. There's no delay. There's no tariffs. There's no import. We'd probably actually pay less. It's funny. Do we have a scene in Belgium? I don't think so.
Of players? No
Kagani.
idea.
So, look, Mitch has flown to Japan to play MTG events.
How'd you go?
Talk to us. What's the
great,
TCG culture like there? I want to know about it.
They love it. It is a massive, amazing scene to go to any one of their GPs. So I went to GP Kyoto, 2016, 2017. Trying to remember the year. Spent a couple days in Tokyo. Took the train down. Went to Kyoto, hotel, and then the convention center they rented out was fully packed out. There were so many players. And then all the stores, everyone gets involved. There are so many different stalls. The way they run things is awesome. They're super inclusive. Sure, there could be a bit of a language barrier sometimes, but for the most part, you get through it pretty quickly because everyone knows what everyone's doing for the most part. Probably be the first barrier, I guess, that people might see. But after that, no, it's it's hard to describe. It's incredibly fun.
Did you go to any LGSs over there?
I
Have
did.
a look around?
When we were in Tokyo, I went to Haruya. One of the mainstays for us, right? That went to their tournament center. Throughout Tokyo, went into there, picked up a couple of cards while I was there, and then just checked out. Unfortunately, wasn't any events running, but checking out the space and stuff, and just being amazed at it. They're over there. Like I said, if the adoption of FAB gets as high as some people are predicting, it's just going to be huge.
It looks like there is a scene.
Yeah,
it's the start of a scene.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot of groundwork's been doing. So a lot of these stores, not just the big ones, Haruya, because I wouldn't know how many LGSs Japan would have, 1,000 more probably, right? They've got a lot. Okay, it's a highly populated place. It's condensed, but it's highly populated.
But also gaming culture.
But exactly, and all those, not all those LGSs, a lot of those LGSs are starting to onboard the systems and everything in order to run FAB. So they're adding it to their catalogs of games that they're going to offer. That takes a bit of time. But like you said, LSS themselves are extremely bullish about what they predict to be FAB's success in Japan.
So I'm happy to announce it here. So flukeandbox.shop is transitioning to a single store and box breaks. Putting a lot of work behind the scenes. The launch is Sunday. I haven't posted it, but I'm gonna was literally working on it before you guys came. Put the stream up and say it's gonna be Sunday. At this point, we'll open an alpha box or something or two. And
on the day, sure.
Yeah. So the stock's all in. Pretty much everything's done. It's just we were waiting on. What we wanted to do was get 15 cases of white border, and then crack it live, which would take like 7 hours. But then when we hit something, we immediately put it in stock and you can buy it. So if we hit a tunic, if we hit a legendary, you can actually like literally buy it on the shop 5 minutes later if you're like waiting or looking for one. So I think it'd be cool because people will, like, tunics are hard to come by, but we'll be like, hey, we're selling the tunic for $180 if we hit it.
Yeah.
And so people are going to claw on and wait and try and buy it. But here's the point. We've already talked about it. Even talked about it to James White. We're just going to do free shipping to Japan till they have stock. So basically, it'll be, if you're in Japan, there's a pickup option, free shipping, and go nuts.
Wow.
Sick.
Like, will we lose money? I don't know if I'd call it lose, if that makes sense.
It's an investment.
Dude, every customer in Japan isn't a customer anywhere yet. If they're a flukeandbox.shop customer, great. I'm not even competing with anyone because there's no one really selling singles into that market.
Yeah.
So,
And if they can't get Japanese language cards,
they
they'll
need
have to
English.
use English.
Also,
But once they get Japanese, they won't be playing in
no matter
English.
what they do for Japan, no matter what they do, they will not be able to print every single card in Japanese from day one. That's what history pack.
Correct.
You get the first 3 sets. If someone wants a Monarch Legendary, you're kind of, and I tell you now, Prism will be popular in Japan. There's no way you're going to get your hands on Monarch Legendaries immediately. So History Pack 2 is Feb, which is next month for Europe. But Japan has no History Pack 1 yet. And I doubt they'll go History Pack 1 and 2 all at the same time.
Yeah.
So the point is, Everfest, Uprising, Dynasty, are you telling me Japan, they don't want to play 5, they want to play Dromite?
No,
that
will.
stuff's going to have to come from English sets. Hopefully they get a whole bunch. Remember, guys, FAB 2.0 is unlimited printing. So Dynasty, Uprising, they can print another 100,000.
Oh, they're all in
boosters.
print. It's all in
Correct.
print.
But they should never be out of print. The way FAB 2.0 is worded is this is the set. It'll get printed as it's needed.
No, but they can still announce it's out of print.
I'm sure, but there's no reason for them because there's no more unlim first ed for that to be relevant to anyone right now. Like, really, it doesn't matter because what they're trying to say is don't spec buy boxes. This is the whole
Correct.
point.
But they're not going to sit it active open on the printers.
Well, they will now. If they got Japan coming, they might want to just leave
Maybe.
all the sets till they can get, you know what I mean? So Everfest, there's unlimited, or there was at some point listed on the website. That's gone. Maybe only Japan gets Everfest unlimited. You know
Makes
what I mean?
sense,
You just
yeah.
don't know. But I think, I know it sounds like I'm trying to say we're just doing the right thing. We'll make money if we get Japanese customers. It'd be great. But I think the free shipping, because we got helped by a community member who owns a logistics company.
Wow.
Like we're $16 to send 250 grams anywhere in the world. 250 grams is basically a booster box.
That's cheaper than what I pay to send a playmat. They're about 250 grams. I pay to Europe.
Well, I
about,
need to print you some labels then.
I'm
serious.
I pay about $20.
Yeah.
$21.
Yeah, paying. So
to
I'm
ship
charging
playmats.
16. I'm not paying 16 as well.
Yeah, of course.
So we thought about it and we're like, if we do minimum $100 order, that's a 16% discount. If our margins are around 20 to 30%, we can afford it and we'll still make profit. So we're just going to do it. Free shipping to Japan. We might even do free shipping to Asia in general because I think all of Asia has the same problem. It's just Japan is no release yet, but like Malaysia, Philippines, they don't have access and they're stuck a bit, not as much is what I'm saying. They don't get as much stock. They have the distribution, but it's newer. So there's still stuff they never got their hands on alpha. They never got their hands on.
Oh yeah, that old.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of collectors in that part of the world that buy from New Zealand, Australia. But also, when I say access, I'm not talking about like distribution access and store access. They don't have TCG Player or Card Market the way the US and Europe do. So their access is Facebook groups, PayPal, Wise transfers, exchange rates. I think buying from a single shop at a reasonable rate is better for a lot of this because you can send a full deck list. Like, you know what you said about the Kano deck? Do you know how many people would just buy a deck day one? Like, sure, 6 months in, you know a few people, you start buying singles and build stuff.
No, I was like I said,
What was our favorite single store locally back in the day for Magic?
Whose backpack was it?
No, single store, what we used to use, and they were located in Hong Kong. Everyone used them here, remember? Mint, MTG Mint.
Oh, yeah, MTG Mint card.
They were good.
Yeah.
Why were
Everyone
they
used
good?
them.
I need to learn.
Prices,
and
stock.
pricing.
They had heaps of cards, like old promo.
Yep.
Like that's how I built a lot of my collection.
Do you know what I've spent this week on collections? I'm not kidding. I'm broke. Like $55,000.
Sheesh, that's
Nice.
not many. I'm surprised that many collections up for
buying
sale.
collections, buying stock.
That's what stores do.
But it's not just that. I know it's depth. You need a library. And Chad from fleshandbloodcards.com.
Oh yeah, hey Chad, thanks for the comment
Chad
today.
Valentine.
Love your work.
Yeah. Like he was giving me that advice. Like he's done this in Magic.
Yes.
And it's the library that you'll retire of. Like that one common from WTR Alpha that no one wants because it's yellow and you just have 100 of them and you can't sell them.
Yeah.
Don't touch them because eventually at some point.
If you stay in the game long enough,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's so. But because I'm starting now, I put my personal collection in. And then I've tried to buy every collection I can at a good rate to just build a library.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule. That's what the Dark Lord, he said. Because I remember when people would buy cards off him and they wouldn't be in the system and he'd go, oh, I've got that in a deck. And he'd run out the back. He'd go through his decks.
Notorious.
And then I said, what are you doing, Lindsay? And he goes, mate, you own a shop. Everything's for sale. That's what he told me. Everything's for sale.
Did you know what's listed on our single store? My cold foil Ashwings.
Oh.
No, I'm keeping the marbles. But that took me a while to collect. It's like
how
30
many did
of
you
them.
end up? Yeah, about 30, 40,
I have
50?
20 marvels.
Okay.
So there wasn't much point keeping the... Do you know how many cold foils I've given away? Because they're actually not... You can't sell them to anyone. Like, if you have 20, then everyone only wants one. Realistically, they want one in a nice case to put a dice on. Man, it's exciting.
Oh,
and the idea is maybe we end up... Like, my original idea, like a while ago, was to sponsor Arsenal Pass. Anytime they're doing a deck tech video, I send them the deck. So they like full rarity foil from the library. You just send them the deck. They film the video, and then you get it back and
competing
unsleeve it.
against Channel 5 for that, right?
That's good. Well, can I do a little spruiking?
Whatever you want.
So, I was wrong. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. One of my favourite uncles in Ireland, best, like Uncle Pat. I know you're not watching, but how
Of course,
are
his name's Pat. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, everyone in my family, it's Kevin, John, Paul, or Pat. So Uncle Pat, he has a great saying. He goes, I might not be always right, but I'm never wrong, Paul. Okay, words to live by. Anyway, so I got that one. I love that guy. So I got that one wrong that I predicted a merchant to be in Outsiders. I did. But hell, fucking
You
no.
even bet on it.
No one
really
would have.
did?
No one would have predicted 6 freaking heroes in this set. So
no
everyone
one
could go
No
shove
one
it up
would've
their ass,
predicted a
right?
fucking merchant.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, come on, man. I had
There
good
is no
logic.
one in the world that would have thought Benji Katsu would be in this set. No one.
No one. So,
LSS always catches off guard, to be honest. Go.
so I made a stipulation in that video. I was so confident that if I got it wrong, the Akubra, which is basically for our North American viewers, a cowboy hat. It's made out of leather, mind you. I said if I got that wrong, which I did, I was going to open up an OnlyFans account and I was going to make a video of me eating that Akubra. True to my word, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm announcing it now on Funder. In the next, couple of weeks, I'm going to open up an OnlyFans account. It'll be a free subscription, but there'll be a paywall, a one-off purchase of that video. Encourage you to do tips as well if you can afford it. Now, the proceeds of that video will be split down the line. Half of all the money made off that video will go to AIDS, an AIDS charity, probably one down here locally in Australia. I lost one of my uncles on my other side of the family, my favourite uncles, to AIDS when I was a teen. I was very close to him. So that's somewhere special in my heart. So I'll donate half that money to AIDS, an AIDS foundation, charity yet to be determined, but that's what half the money is going to go to. And the other half of the money is going to go to my plane ticket to go to Baltimore. So both great causes. and that's what we're going to do with that. So stay tuned. I'll let everyone know. And
Will there be nudity though?
There will be, 100%. It's bloody OnlyFans. What do you think? So
Does the wife know?
it's going to be fun. Okay, it's going to be a bit of fun. Okay, bit of tongue.
Please make sure it's not the kids recording it. Okay.
So
don't
need
scar them.
need a
it's
different
nothing
film.
they haven't seen before. Jeez, all right, let's settle down. We live in a bloody village in my house, that's for sure. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So appreciate all the support. It's a bit of fun. It'll be good stuff, and hopefully we raise a lot of money for a great cause, and hopefully we get this Timmy over to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So that's my spruik for today.
Yeah, it's a lot sooner than I expected.
Oh, yeah.
April's very soon.
It's a couple months away.
Well, it's only 2 months
one month
exactly
after
after Outsiders. So that'll be close to the
1 month after Outsider.
2 months after the calling.
So that meta is going to be spice.
These are short metas.
Yeah, well, you're meant to have
not
the...
even though. It feels like it. Well, so
Now, this meta's short. Right now, the Dynasty meta.
it feels short only because you haven't been playing events for 2 months since it's come out.
But that's what... It's short.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's all dead air, right?
Yeah.
So realistically, the metas existed. People have been playing it.
Yeah, but
but
no
there's no-
high-level
correct.
deck lists and champions and, hey, who won this calling with what? We haven't seen... There's been like a couple of Battle Hardens.
2 early battle huns too. It was like a couple of weeks afterwards.
All right, another prediction.
Double down.
Double down. The calling, okay, not talking about the Pro Tour.
New Zealand calling or Indy?
No, the calling attached to the Baltimore Pro Tour.
Sorry, yep.
Okay,
Sure.
is going to be a limited calling.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. They haven't
That's
done
my
that in a
prediction.
while.
That's
Why
my
not?
prediction.
I hope it's a Team Blitz calling. I'd love that.
I,
all in.
I think it's
Or
gonna,
even Team Sealed.
I think it's going to be limited calling.
Do you know how badly I want to play Team Sealed? Because Sealed has variants, but Team Sealed seems fun.
Team Sealed's fun.
Yeah.
Team Sealed on a hybrid set like what's coming out would
Yes.
be
So fun.
yeah.
Because you got 6 heroes to pick from. Technically. 3 decks. But you could technically go double Ranger and catch someone off guard, you know, if you can build the deck. Especially if you get enough hybrid. It's going to be so fun.
Judge question. Judge. Hero revealing. So you reveal your hero.
Yep.
So you can't wait for them to reveal their hero and then change heroes, right?
No,
That's
it's
why I
happened at
don't
the same
think
time.
you'll have access to... I think you have to pick your hero.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain if you're playing competitive level, I'm pretty sure it's part of writing your deck list. You select your hero for draft specifically.
Okay. The cards can change.
Yes, but the hero cannot.
hero cannot.
Correct.
And
Gotcha.
pretty much there's no one shows... Like, heroes just start face up. There's no...
Yeah.
You sit down,
Realistically,
there's
sure.
immediately
first
information
thing you need to
available.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can start
Then
sideboarding.
decide, and then
And honestly, you shouldn't sideboard till you roll and
Correct.
decide because your sideboard will often change.
maybe not so much yet, but eventually that's going to be. I imagine that's going to start becoming a lot more important.
No, it is for me. So sometimes it's whether I'll go Tunic or Courage. Because
Sure.
if I'm going first, I'd rather go Tunic,
Yeah.
get that counter started.
For Briar,
but
it's
also,
this rounds on me.
honestly, Iron Song Pride, I don't want it in the deck if I'm going first. Just don't want to see it. It's a terrible card to start with.
Fair.
Yeah, when you go second, it's the most overpowered card in your deck. Especially Blitz, because it's like much shorter. That decision's really important. Although you don't get to take it out in Blitz, it just doesn't feel good in Blitz. Well, we can end here.
Well, let's just quickly touch
yeah.
on New Zealand.
Dude, I've got a video coming that'll knock your socks off.
So what's happening in New Zealand?
So, I mean,
Calling?
while we're doing announcements, I've hired an editor.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm building it up to full time as soon as I can. So I did it
For-
one little short.
Yourself, Thunder.
Actually, I've hired an editor for Thunder. Now you know. I'm paying for it, so it doesn't matter. Well, what I'm thinking is, it's someone that watches the channel. If they're happy to watch Thunder and pull some shorts out of it and do it, they're
Sure.
not like I'm gonna try and pay them for like 7 to 10 videos a week. Not really, but whatever, X amount of videos a week. And if they're doing that anyway, it wouldn't hurt to do like Phil's poetry thing should be a short on Thunder.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crime those know.
But no, it's mainly for Fluke and Box.
Okay.
But to be honest, they're like someone in the community that actually only makes money through editing. So
sure. So it's
Might as
something they're
well.
already doing. So
Yeah.
You send in the files is the easiest
we know
thing
that
ever.
we make best channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They one of their guy or
their editor.
Right.
And they're going to be at the calling.
And they're
I'm
going to be in
super
New
excited
Zealand.
to meet those guys.
No
if
one's
can.
met them. Like very few of us have met
Well,
them.
they're WA. Like they're
No, but also I don't think they've been to any big Fab events because they're newer to the game and also haven't been to them. Yeah, I don't think they were at Sydney calling. Nothing.
Surely nationals though this year.
No, I asked. Although Tiger, who's Tog as he's known, is like rank 3 on XP right now.
Dude, like, grind that shit out.
Because I was looking at the top, I'm like, I recognize the names. Like the top 3 names are people you immediately.
So WA's got a lot of scrubs. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I told him. I said, stop grinding and do more editing.
Do you find their Kano, like you're a Kano player, are their Kano videos useful?
Oh,
Are they
yeah,
good?
for sure. No.
Even Hayden was saying it's very good content.
I mean,
he doesn't agree on every single point,
correct.
but
I
it's
was about
very
to say,
good.
I don't agree on everything that they're doing, but a lot of the core is very good.
They have
And
a
the fact
Magic
that they
Pro
run
on
through
their
the
team.
lines-
The person playing, I believe, and I'm sure they'll
He was an
comment
accomplished
below.
Magic player.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then Tiger's doing. Obviously, he's playing. He's top XP, top 3 in Australia right now. So he's playing, and he's got the other one is Casanova. Is like top 2 or 1 in Australia right now.
I saw that.
I'm like, fuck that guy. He's pummeling everyone. That's why he's winning.
Good
So
card.
Tiger's editing, and I think they're just housemates that game. Like that's
That makes a lot
what
of
they
sense.
are. Yeah.
Well, let's give the folks a rundown of what announcements we can announce what we're doing with Thunder in the call in Auckland, New Zealand.
So we got word from the top that we're invited to LSS head office. So first time for you, second for me, only because you couldn't come last time. Otherwise, we would have been there together.
Pop my cherry, baby.
So we're going to record Thunder in the LSS head office. The guest list is spicy as fuck. But also we've bought an extra mic setup so we can have... I think that the setup with 3 is fun. I think technically most people like our one-on-one episodes because it's very binary. So we're going to do 4 and test that out. So on occasion, it's like we mentioned Grimdark. It's husband and wife team or partner team. I'm not sure husband or wife, but it'd be great to have Brandon and Emily there at the same time. There's teammates that, it'd be good to have Nick Butcher and Matt Rogers at the same time, that kind of thing. So we're going to try that at LSS. You might see an episode before that as a tester, but we might end up doing like a couple of the guys from the testing
So we're going to be
team.
in the studio on the Thursday before the calling at the LSS
Recording
head office.
all day.
Recording all day.
James White said yes, so at least expect that episode.
And we're trying to pair the LSS employees together. So each episode should have 2 LSS employees in them.
I think it'll improve their comfortability because they're not the only person having...
off each other.
Look, it'll be fun. There's a lot of podcasts with 4 people that just work.
Then what's happening on the Friday?
We're recording at the calling.
Yes.
Thunder live setup. Is there other events on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't released the schedule yet.
Okay.
But there
There'll be
will be
side events.
events.
So it'll probably be like... What do they usually do? Like a skirmish or a super armory, usually.
and
they'll-
like a winner ticket into
Yeah.
the main event as well, right? So
Yep.
although it's open, like for Magic, right, they used to have like a win and in sort of thing. For
Sure.
that. So they do. I imagine.
well, this is open entry, so it's probably just you might win a
win
package.
win the package.
Yeah.
More
I
likely
imagine
what
it's a
what the
super
FAB
armory,
is gonna
whatever
do.
the armory kit is, will be quadrupled. Quadrupled? Yeah, so there's like 8 playmats, 8 cold foils. That's what they do usually. It's run by Cerebus Games and FAB. I don't know if Cerebus are in Auckland or I don't think
They're
are.
in Wellington, I think.
Okay,
They're
so
coming up.
yeah, well they're pretty good at organising
Sure.
events. I believe they do a lot of the
They did
national-
the Nash.
Yes,
Nats,
yeah.
yeah. And that was
that's
meant to be pretty
Kiki's
good.
store. I
Yeah,
believe.
correct.
Where,
Kiki.
or where Kiki works. I don't know if she owns or runs. I think she manages the store. Either way, very excited.
So we're going to be at the venue. So expect now that we have that confirmed and we have time confirmed, people that we have on our hit list to record community members, expect comms from us
Yep.
in the next few days.
A couple of names we're trying to get is obviously Cal McCreath would be great. Matt Rogers. A lot of the New Zealand locals. Manny for sure. He's so good.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch. So we'll send
Yeah.
out some comms. We'll try
And
and
same
get
thing,
people on.
if we bring in the 4-person setup, then we might
two
be
at
able
a
to
time.
get a couple of people at a time. Like Marnie runs his channel with his name escapes me. We hung out in Singapore, but
Yeah.
like they're a team. They do the Fab Maniac stuff together. So for some of this, it'll be easy to do both at once.
So Thursday we're recording.
Friday we're
LSS,
recording.
Friday recording, and Saturday, Sunday we're playing, baby.
Maybe just Saturday for you. But
No, I'm going to play the Battle Hut. Settle down, Mitch. Fucking hell, have some faith, mate.
look, I got to take my digs when I can.
Yeah, that's true.
Look,
hey, it's actually probably, you know, it's.
I convinced.
I think you have to go 5 and 2 to day 2 if you
It
look
should
at
be
it.
X2.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so if you X2 day 1, you cut to day 2.
What's the cash? What is it? 32, top 32, top 16.
32,
Generally, yeah.
top 32.
Look, I convinced Dev, our Ryan,
Brett.
our friend. The second he realized it was Blitz battle hardened, he's like,
I'll do that.
all right, I'm going to grind Blitz day 1 for tickets, and day 2, I'm going to win the battle hardened. I'm like, yeah, it's basically
That's
2
typical.
armories in a row. If you get 8-0, you win.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8-0, I think 10-0, like however big the event is, if you can go 10-0,
Okay,
you probably win the event, right?
Yeah.
So I just play 2 armories in a row. It's not
We're
that
just going
hard.
to hear a lot of Scubby!
100%.
Scubbies!
Man, I will buy him a fucking megaphone.
Fuck, how funny would that be? He pulls it out of the bag.
Rolls with their like,
There's some judge who'll shut him down, unfortunately.
probably, unfortunately, but
But
So-
it's actually cool that it's a blitz battle hardened
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a big
interesting.
skirmish. Like that's what that's going to be like. Anyone can play that. You can pretty much pick up a pre-con and go play it. I wouldn't like your chances, but you can.
true.
Look, so big call to action. Anyone in Australia, definitely anyone living in New Zealand, even if you don't want to play the main event, you should be at the tournament. It's free entry just to come in and have a nosy around.
Especially if you haven't been to one of these big
Yeah,
FAB events.
it's such a being in a room and with like-minded people. I've preached about it for bloody 18 months. Do yourself a favor, get there.
Man, we got tickets for $375. It's probably more now.
Yeah,
But it's under 500.
Reasonable.
it's not, yeah from Sydney.
And honestly, if you're sharing accommodation, most Airbnbs have like a fold-out couch. You can get some good deals.
That's right. And if you're from Southeast Asia, it'd be great for you to come down. And North American brothers and sisters, I know it's expensive for you guys and it's hard to get a lot
a
of
holiday.
time off
Look,
work.
Auckland's pretty.
If you can, get some time off, come down. We'd love to see you there.
Here's the thing. Hamel's coming. Hamel Patel.
Yeah.
Hammurabi
right.
Bazaar. Owner of Magnolia's coming. Their team is coming. There's a good chance. I believe Matthew Folks, TT Bow, like there's a whole bunch of people jumping on planes. Because it's both a chance to hang out. Like if you're going to hang out with LSS staff outside of like Worlds, like look, don't harass James for signatures. I fucking hate that. But the point is that they will all be there. Most of them will be there, whether they're commentating or playing side events. Like it's in their hometown. They're not like the office is in Auckland. They're all going to be there.
I mean, this is your chance to probably play against them again, right?
But also just
some will
networking.
be-
Like if you're in the game in any capacity, you want to meet some of these people. It's also New Zealand usually has the cheapest cards in FAB because the market's so much smaller.
Correct.
I imagine just rocking up to vendors.
Bit of an arbitrage.
Yeah.
Good way to pay for your trip.
No, 100%. So you can bring cards, but I actually think if you are a backpack trader, bring some money. Because New Zealand dollar is cheaper than Australian dollar. It's not hard to buy some cards. Look, let me put it this way. This is a real number. I've bought alpha boxes from New Zealand for under 3,500 NZ. They sell for 3,500 US.
Yeah.
Just so you just get the exchange rate.
Yeah, and I've told Americans that, like with the American dollar, if you sold your package merch
Yes.
plus you bought
It
some
probably
cards,
pays-
you pay for at least half your trip.
I think so. I did the maths because also Dash is very popular. The fact that Dash isn't even in the set, I think, is even better because there's still the expectation that there's a set coming, which will be
For-
Mechanologist. Like it's the only class with one adult hero
now,
still.
yeah.
Imagine if they did back-to-back sets in the pit.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know, but that'd be
Because
funny,
there's
right?
two things that they've already confirmed Light Shadow this year. So what's the third set? Is all you got to think about. What's the third one?
I want to change direction quickly before we wrap up. How do I beat Brody Spurlock?
So I have a bone to pick with Flake.
How do I beat Brody
They
Spurlock?
announced the tournament as some of the best players in the world, and
Oh,
they
it's
got
got Timmy.
DM Armada and Tall Timmy. And I'm
man.
like,
I
They
am.
might have made finals last time, did you not?
Yes.
in the gauntlet, not in the world.
Yeah, go on, that's fine.
Mate, there's hundreds of good players in the world.
And I'm the ranked 170th. So
no, you're not.
Yes,
I'm
I am.
Elo, what are you
Became
actually
hundred-
Elo
ranked?
Schmelo.
Elo
all right?
Schmelo.
All right. Elo Schmelo. No, but yeah,
Do you want the truth?
how do
You're not
you
going to beat Brody still.
I know he's fucking good, isn't he? He's
Dude,
so
he's
good.
rank he's very high elo as well right now.
Yeah.
The reason I don't think you beat him is I don't think I could beat him again.
And he knows my hero inside out.
Look, everyone's beatable.
Yeah. Bait and switch.
I would honestly, with a kid that age, just talk shit.
It's on webcam, right?
Just talk shit.
Yeah.
That's how I'd get under their skin. You know, there was once upon a time, I played World of Warcraft, and our tank was like a 16-year-old Halo pro.
Jeez.
Like he won like 200K playing Halo. He was rank 1 for a while. Solo Halo player. And whatever, he was shit talking, and I'm like, all right, I'll verse you 1v1. He's like, yeah, well, if I win, I'm the main tank for the guild forever. And I'm like, mate, you're not going to win. It's like, bro, I'm rank 1. I'm like, let's play. And I just, the whole time, just talked shit. I'm in his ear. It's the same as I'm in your ear now. If I'm calling you a virgin, if I'm saying you're never getting laid, if I'm saying, say hi to your mum for me, like the whole time, and you're like 16, you don't have the maturity to deal with that. He did not. I won. I won. Brody's like 16, 17, man. Also, he's a lovely guy. Don't do that.
No, I don't.
He's a good kid.
There were a few people looking at that gauntlet bracket. So this is going to be on Flake's channel. They were looking at it going, oh, you know, those matchups are weird. But it was random. The whole bracket was randomly generated. Okay,
Yeah.
so
who told you it's random?
the organisers. Why would they lie?
I don't think it's random.
It is.
Looking at it, I'm like,
I believe it.
I can see some stories being written with this bracket.
Either way, it doesn't matter how the matchups
Sure,
are written.
yeah.
There's going to be stories, right? You can.
True.
I look, I'm kidding, obviously.
So let's go. I think I've got my deadline of recording our matches. I think by the end of the week.
Okay.
This week, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I've got to link up with Brody. Brody, reach out.
He probably doesn't watch your channel. He's a grinder, that guy.
Yeah. So
He plays a lot.
and this will be the first time I've ever done a cam game as well. So forgive me now if it's.
Did you not play during the webcam period?
No. I just made YouTube videos every day.
Do you need help with the setup?
Probably.
We need 2 cameras. You're aware of that, right?
No,
That's fine.
just one.
It just needs to be a mat.
Well, you're not going to have your face in it?
No, they don't show the faces on the gauntlet.
Oh, it's just, okay.
They show the
'cause they're
comments.
casting,
Yeah, they're casting it. So all I need is
space.
I'm just going to do my phone. I just need to get a little. Probably ask to borrow that off you. A little arm to connect my phone to, and I'll just Streamlab record it. That's it. I think that's all I need to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or help Brody out and record his side as well. Does that make sense? Like one feed?
Oh, okay. That's a good question.
Like you plug it into OBS and then you just record the game and send them the game.
Depends how they're doing it, because they might
Sure.
just get them to do it over Discord, right? And then they'll just be literally in the
Are
video.
they watching it or no? You're just recording
no, we're
it?
just
Oh,
recording.
you're
We're
just
playing
recording,
via
okay.
Discord, and we're recording it, and we send the file.
Okay, sure.
Look, do a failsafe, both record anyway, but I'm saying you could probably both record both sides just to be safe. But you'll figure it out.
I mean, I'm sure that they'll tell you. They'll give
Yeah,
you
yeah.
some notes, I imagine, probably somewhere.
Exciting.
Yeah. Good luck. Not sure
What's
how
he
well-
playing? Do you know yet?
No, so we can reveal our decks now. I could tell the world what I'm playing now.
And change it when you
Yeah, you could do that, but there's no onus on the player to publish their hero until they reveal it on
Sure.
their first game. So after the first
Like he
round,
can make assumptions and you can make assumptions, but it's
but
not.
after the first round, then obviously everyone knows the heroes.
Give him some
Kana
tips.
tips.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we think it is a primary.
Hey,
I don't actually. If I haven't
Look, it's
followed Brody, so I
webcam.
don't know
You
what he's
could
playing.
technically be sitting in the room going.
Well, that was the bait and switch, right? I'm like,
But I think he plays everything, right? He plays Icelander, Oldham, Briar.
no, he's probably leaning towards. The
He
best
plays
decks,
everything
so
at a high level.
it can be. That means it could just be Fire Icelander
Yeah,
or
Good luck.
Oldham, maybe.
I'll give him hell.
yeah,
You
just
try.
roll scabbies.
Imagine that, right? Actually, maybe Reinhardt's a go,
Don't put
right?
ideas that he's
Look, if you want to beat some of the best decks, Reinhardt's not bad. Reinhardt will beat Dash. Reinhardt's actually very good into
And
Dash.
I do have those weighted dice as well.
It's like the
Oh,
dice
no one's
rolls.
ever-
Yeah, everyone's watching. They're just like, holy shit.
So many sixes.
Just high rolling the
Dude,
shit out
I
of
had
people.
read 3 6s in a row in an armory. I was getting looked at.
I would. Fuck you. Kidding me?
There's someone I could call out now, but I won't say any names. So I'll tell a quick funny story about a roll. This is I was not early. It was just I think it was like the second chromatic armory, the first or second one that Andy, and it was Blitz, and I was on Bolt, and I paired into Reiner. And this person rolls their scabbies with like a Matt Folks-esque type big blue die.
Oh, right.
And no joke, they literally like just
flipped it.
flipped it, and it was like a 5, and I'm just like, oh, is that a roll? I was like, I just asked, I was like, oh, is that a roll? Is it? You know, and then they did it again, got it twice. I was just, I didn't push them out. It's an armory.
No, but the big
I was
ones
like, what
are
the
not-
fuck?
Unless you're rolling it on the floor.
Yeah, it was like literally just like a little plop. Plop.
See, I'm pretty sure actually you're a judge. By the rules, I don't think you can let, like if you're the other player, you can insist they roll with your dice or insist that, you know
I
what
don't
I
think
mean?
you can insist, but there is like requirements on dice and stuff. I have to go.
Yeah,
double
but
check
I'm sure if a judge came and someone's rolling a big foam dice,
Apparently, there's one. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a high level player or a pro player that plays a lot of brute, and apparently they always roll their opponent's die. They just sit down and go before they roll. They go
because they don't want to be called.
They don't want to be called out.
100%.
They're just like, I'll roll that dice, please. Can I have that?
To be honest, like one thing I can't remember which brute player in Brisbane, he had dice set up for the intims, and he refused to point at a card. He wanted it fully random.
Heaps of people do that. That's weird.
No, but I liked it because it was also taking there's no agency. He didn't like. Sometimes you can tell.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the way someone shuffled or like, I don't know. I think it's smart, but also it's just as easy to ask the opponent to roll your scabbies for you. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because they're clear. Why would they have a weighted dice if they're playing like Dory or something? It's
Yeah.
just a dice for marking equipment. So you could just say, can you roll a 6 for my scabbies? No, but then they can't. You're not
Imagine
gonna-
tilting your opponent.
100%,
They keep
because it's like,
rolling sixes
Thanks
for you.
for rolling the 6. Who was it? Edmund. Shout out, Ed. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
Yeah.
Ed has a ritual before the game as he rolls all his dice and then the low rolls he puts back in his bag and he
I have
keeps
not seen
yeah,
that.
it's very cool because he plays Reiner and he always likes to get the lucky dice. So he rolls a bunch.
That's so good.
And Justin makes us play poker instead of high roll. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no. Poker dice is
That was common at the Cube.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've never
Back in the day.
seen that shit.
Low rolls, poker hands.
low rolls. Lindsay, it was the you know.
That was his thing. He loved
Yeah.
low rolls. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Mitch,
Cheers,
thanks for
guys.
coming, man. You filthy Kano.
Look,
Ugh.
And that's what I'm going to freaking tell We Make Best Crew. I'm going to be like, guys, I love your stuff, but fucking stop with the Kano videos already, all right? Just give me anything, not Kano.
Well, you know what we need to do? Call them out for a grudge match.
Or a threesome, me, you, Phil versus them three.
100. I'll do it.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and they have to stop making Kano videos for a month if we win.
Yeah, let's do Blitz,
Yeah.
3v3.
Oh, no, we can they can't play Kano either. And if they win, we have to all build Kano decks for the month.
but that's like
Yeah, I need to do a
but
Kano deck.
you know what?
tech.
You'll learn a lot when you
that's
play
a detriment
Kano.
only to Tog. The rest of the other two, I don't think are that too hyped on Kano.
We'll see. Maybe not. I don't know what the others play. To be honest, I watch their videos, but I don't watch anyone's videos all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's too much content.
True.
When you make, it's like, I also got to spend time making.
And working and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Always.
All right. Cheers, Mitch. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good
It's
night.
Great.
Subscribe.
Get to Auckland.
Yeah, get to Auckland.